Hey everyone, it's me, Jem, and welcome to episode 2 of a new segment here on my YouTube channel. I call it Jem at the Movies, where I review some of my favorite movies and series, either recent or old but gold. So for today's review, we are going back to Los Angeles. Yes, I'm talking about 2001's The Fast and the Furious, the original, the one that started it all. The series has also traveled to different countries like Dominican Republic, Tokyo, Brazil, London, Dubai, and Cuba. And since the days of hijacking trucks in Los Angeles, they've gone on to fight a tank, a giant plane, a submarine, hackers, super assassins, The Rock, and even fighting the leader of the family himself, Dominic Toretto. So after watching the 7 other movies, it's always nice to come back to where it all started. This movie is 19 years old, but it's still a favorite of a lot of car guys around the world. The film's humble beginnings come from an idea of director Rob Cohen after he read an article about street racing in New York City, after watching an actual illegal street race in Los Angeles. So the first thing I want to talk about with this movie is the car culture that it created around the world. So after audiences got a glimpse of Brian O'Connor's green Eclipse and orange Supra, it inspired the whole modification craze on Japanese imports by car enthusiasts. Just seeing that orange Supra being rebuilt from junk to a stylish and powerful machine inspired a lot of car guys to customize their rides. Suddenly they were putting on customized bumpers, side skirts, spoilers, engine dress-ups, neon lights. Suddenly, the Fast and the Furious created like a fashion for cars. And that trend still goes on today with a lot of car meets and car modification contests. And what would the Fast and the Furious be without its main star, Paul Walker, the cop, the buster, the tuna sandwich loving white boy with the hots for Dominic Toretto's sister? Ever since Paul Walker, Brian, walked into the Toretto store and spoke the words, "I'll have the tuna, no crust." That line has stuck with many fans since his passing in 2013. So in this movie, he starts out as an undercover cop in a custom racing part shop, and he's trying to investigate Dominic Toretto. And he has to solve the mystery of the hijacked trucks in Los Angeles. So he challenges Dom to a race for his pink slip, and he loses, despite trying to ask for respect from Dom. So then Dom's business rival, Johnny Tran, blows up Brian's car. So now he owes Dom a new car, but not just any car, a 10-second car. So after Brian rescues Dom from getting arrested by the cops, eventually Dom will find out that Brian is a cop, but Brian still lets him escape in the end. Ever since Brian lost that first race against Dom, he has always wanted a rematch, which happened in parts 4 and 5. And since then, Brian has become part of the Fast family up until Fast and Furious 7. So next, let's talk about my favorite memorable lines from this movie. Of course, there's the famous tuna sandwich line, "I'll have the tuna, no crust." And then there's the part where Dom breaks up the fight between Brian and Vince. "Hey man, it was in my face." "I'm in your face." And then there's the part where Dominic arrives in the house with Brian before he almost got arrested. "Hey Dom, why'd you bring the buster here?"
"'Cause the buster kept me out of handcuffs. He didn't just run back to the fort. The buster brought me back."
I don't have any cash, but I do have the pink slip to my car. Right, so check it out. It's like this. I lose, Rhea takes my car clean and clear. But if I win, I take the cash and I take the respect. Respect. Some people, that's more important.
What are you smiling about? You almost had me. You never had your car. Granny shifting, not double clutching like you should. You're looking under child noster to blow the welds on the intake. Almost had me. Now me and the mad scientist gotta rip apart the block and replace the piston rings you fried. Ask any racer, any real racer. It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
This scene is where Johnny Tran just won the race versus Jesse, and he wants Toretto to pick up his car. Where's he going?
He went to the car wash.
Whatever, go fetch my car.
Go fetch your car? We ain't on your block anymore. You better watch who you talk to like that.
Toretto! SWAT came into my house, disrespecting my whole family because somebody knocked me out. And you know what? It was you.
I never knocked on nobody. I never knocked on nobody.
So the plot of The Fast and the Furious is easy enough to understand, unlike in later installments where the plot got more and more complex as each new installment was added. It's one of the great things about this movie. It's the simplicity and the realism of the story. As more and more Fast and Furious movies are getting released, some fans of the series are getting more disappointed because the series has become more of a superhero series than a racing series. Dominic Toretto, from a professional thief, has become a hero saving the world. And back then, Dom didn't have to deal with the most dangerous people in the world. He just had to deal with a rival businessman in Johnny Tran. Not saying Johnny Tran was not dangerous, but compared to the other enemies Dom has faced, Johnny Tran was not such a big deal. In fact, he was getting all the blame for Toretto's actions. But still, Rick Yoon gave a very memorable performance, and I wish that Johnny Tran had not died so he would appear in later movies. Now, let's talk about one of the two big stars in this movie. I'm talking, of course, about Dominic Toretto himself, Vin Diesel. The bald guy, the tough guy, but also the soft-hearted family man. Vin Diesel and Paul Walker are the Fast and the Furious. If you took Vin Diesel out of the Fast and the Furious, then there can be no more Fast and Furious. He's the leader, the boss, but he's a good boss. Although he's sometimes a troll or a joker. He knows how to give credit when it's due, and he gives his team their share of the job. And of course, he loves to go fast. He does live his life a quarter mile at a time. In The Fast and the Furious, he's a very wanted criminal, and he's always trying to escape the police. But eventually, he redeems himself and cleans his record. In the series, he always carries a necklace with a cross, which symbolizes that even though he does bad things, God was always with him. God is always protecting him, that's why he always survives. So that is it for me, guys. I enjoyed talking about The Fast and the Furious. I am sure it's a movie that will be seen by generation after generation. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.